Hey everybody, this is the Wargaming Guy. Welcome to a kind of a first look. You might call it a first re-look, maybe. I don't know, because this is actually not a new game, but it's a release of an older game. It's a re-release, actually, of Strategic Command World War II Global Conflict that was originally released and then hasn't been on the market for a while. And now it's back. So I wanted to take a look at it. If you are like me, if you own the original Battlefront version, then you can use your code and get a discount. So I got all this for like $8. You've got the Global Conflict. If I could talk, it'd be great. Sorry. Global Conflict game. Then they had two add-ons to it, Assault on Communism and Assault on Democracy. And we're going to look at all those. Now, this is an older game. And you will notice that when you first run this game, it will probably ask you for your video measurements is the word I want to say. You know, your resolution, screen resolution. Be sure you get that right, and then I'll show you what you might have to do. So what I had to do today, I had a lot of trouble with it, mostly because I wasn't really paying attention. So it's always a good idea when you install new games, particularly if they're an older game, to pay attention because things change so quickly. It's amazing. And there we go. All right, so here's the game. Now, when I had this set up, but here's what I think you might want to check. You'll notice that full screen is checked here. If that's what you want, click around until you can find. You'll notice that there's no option. Now it'll run, and it'll run on that. So you might want to do something like that. By the way, I always turn the music off because it really annoys me. So here you go. This is an older game, like I say, so it's going to tell. But look at this. Here's the game itself, and then we'll look at the two add-on, the DLCs, the campaigns. And this game, like most Strategic Command games, has a lot of game for the money, I think, particularly at this price. If you're interested in a global strategic game for World War II, and even maybe a little bit after World War II, then this is your game. Look at that. Look at all these things. So here's obviously if you want a real challenge, play this one. This is postulating the idea that what if Nazi Germany and Soviet Union got together and they combined forces against everybody else? Pretty much. Good luck. I've played it a few times in its original release, and boom, wow, it's really hard. So, of course, this is kind of the stock game, you might say. Then you've got 1940, and then you got 42, 43. This one's a little different. This is they conquered Europe, and the last democracy stands alone. So it's kind of a what-if scenario. And, of course, Third World War in 1948, and then you've got these brute force games, which are sort of add-ons, different map. I think the map is larger, and so you can take a look at that. So here's a look at the stock game for just a sec here. Let's go ahead, and I'm not actually going to play anything, but just wanted to give you a look. You can change these. Now, the units, when you don't do 3D units, you get these things. I hate these. These to me are hideous. I cannot stand them. So, I mean, if you like it, you get to choose whether it has a base or not. But other than that, so when I play these older SC games, I go with the 3D units because I can't stand those. It looks like Stratego. It just bugs the heck out of me. That's just me. Your mileage may vary. I'm sure it will. Now, you're going to notice when this pops up here in just a second that it is a bit of an older game, and it's going to show in the graphics, and there's going to be something else that you're going to notice. Okay, so there's the thing, and there's the thing, and what you may not be able to see here, and what I need to do is my tool, it's not maps. Is that it? Yeah. You'll notice this is, Herbert did this when he brought out Strategic Command 2, and it stayed in place until quite recently, and you have zoom levels, is squares. These are not hexes, these are squares. Now this, if you're an old timer and you were around, you know this ignited a huge controversy in all of the boards at Battlefront and blah, 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 and we talked, and then it came back a few more times. A lot of people, hardcore war gamers, were not happy with it. I myself was not thrilled about it because I started playing war games in high school in the 1960s with Avalon Hill's D-Day. So I've been doing this a while, and you get used to hexes. But you can see down here the strategic map. It covers pretty much the whole planet, although they did divide the United States. You'll notice there's the kind of the west, and here's kind of the east, and here's the west, the United States. It's a little distorted, maybe. Looks a little better when you look at it this way, but it covers the entire war, guys. So this is a huge game. If you like a huge game, now you're going to love this. Now, one of the problems with this game is I have found okay, that's Japan. Is this isn't Hawaii? Here we go. Here's Hawaii. All of them in one kind of a blob of a few hexes. Here's Midway. Outsized. Midway is nowhere near that big, but see, this is the problem that you have. There's Wake, again, it's too big, but how do you play these games? There's Truck, there's Kwajalein, and Roy Namur, way too big for their actual size, but of course they have to make these kind of things, because how else do you play these kind of games? It's not easy. This is Guadalcanal and the Solomons. It's kind of weird. The map's a little, like I don't know why that's there and not, like maybe have Henderson Field. I don't know. But, they had to make a lot of tough decisions. The problem with this game, if you're playing the whole thing in the Pacific, is you can't really do most of the island campaign justice at this scale. They brought out one before Global. It was the Pacific. And it had the same problem, is that it just can't be done. You try as you may, try as you want, you just can't do it. That's Okinawa. This is Iwo Jima. So it's pretty tough. And so I'm not criticizing the game. It's a lot of fun to play, but it's big, and it only gets bigger as you go through because, of course, as time goes on, you're building more units, and the enemy's building more units, and more people get involved, like the U.S. And so it's a pretty big thing here. So that's kind of an overview of what you're going to get here. Now we're going to exit out, and we're going to take a look. Here we go at these two. This is Assault on Democracy, and we'll look at Assault on Communism. It's basically the same game. But what you got going here is, of course, a whole different thing. This is basically, you have some what ifs here, like the invasion of America. Okay, that's going to be cool. Operation Flatiron. Gosh, I can't even read. I'm sorry. Allies retake UK and invade. And you've got some other things here. These are all alternative history. You do have this here, the Solomons campaign, which is more zoomed in. In fact, let's just take a look at that. And then there's the whole, again, World War II played on a different map, on a bigger map. So let's take a look at this. And we'll see what this one looks like, just to give you a feel for it. I think for the money they want for this, I think the full price right now, if you get it now, it's like $15 or something. It's an incredible amount of gameplay for the money. Yeah, the graphics are kind of clunky for 2018, but the game is still the game. So, yeah. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, we got more. We got a lot more of these things coming in. Here you go. So it's the same basic map, but it looks a little bit different maybe. Let's come back over here and just see. Yeah, there's Denver. So then if you want to go to the West Coast, you got to come all the way back over here. It's tough making a map at this size. You got to make compromises somewhere, right? So where's my... Oh, there you go. Here's Hawaii on this map. I always play with the grid on. I like the grid. Most people don't, I think, but I do. And so let's see. Here we go. Here's the Marshall Islands, Gilbert's. Whoops. New Herbert, blah, blah, blah. Okay, where's? All right. That's Australia right there. There we go. There's Guadalcanal. So there you go. So that's how it looks in this map. I actually like this map better. It's obviously a little more detailed. So you get that. Do you really want to quit? Yes, I do. Let's see. New game. And you know what? Let's look at this one. Because, I mean, this is cool, right? It's Invasion America. How awesome could that possibly be if it's done well? I actually played the demo of Invasion America. They had the demo, and I never bought the game, but I did buy the demo. Look at that. Erich von Manstein is leading the German attack, and we have the Japanese as well, of course. So, yeah, this is the overview. They start down here. I always, of course, wanted to do the invasion on both coasts, but this is what you're set up with. There are editors in all of these, so you could make your own scenario, but as you can see, got a whole lot of Japanese units here, a whole lot of German units here, and what's waiting for you, of course, up here you can't see, but a whole lot of American units as well, of course. So that's kind of what that looks like. And we're going to exit that one, and let's take a look as soon as it pops up. There we go. Assault on communism. That's right. That's what I like to say instead of communism, just because I can. All right. So here's the scenarios you get with this. All this for right now it's $15. It's crazy. Barbarossa to Berlin. It's an extended map. Then there's just regular old Barbarossa. Then you got Typhoon, Case Blue, 2 Case Blues. Not sure. I don't know what the differences are there. One starts earlier. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Then there's Citadel, of course. You got 2 versions of Citadel. And of course, the destruction of Army Group Center. And then, interestingly enough, Operation Key to Go. What if Japan had actually attacked the Russians like the Germans wanted them to? What would have happened? I honestly don't think it would have made a gigantic difference, but could be wrong. So one interesting thing you could do if you want to, this is the deployment phase. We're not going to, let's auto deploy. Yeah. Yes. Because I don't really want to fight. I just want to get this done. Okay. I've never played this, any of the scenarios in here. So, okay. Yeah. Okay. Here come the Soviets. Okay, the Soviet deployment phase is complete. Calculate supply. Now here we go. Okay. Yeah. So let's back up. Give you a little, how far does this go? Okay, so this covers, just this part of the Soviet Union, not the whole thing. So gives you a chance, though, to look at what could the Japanese have done? Could the Russians have really been forced to send troops from the west out here to the east, or just give up and let the Japanese run rampant? Who knows? You can check that out if that sounds interesting to you. And one more game I wanted to look at, or scenario, that I wanted to look at is, let's look at this one with the extended map, because that sounds interesting. Because, of course, one of the complaints, that people make a lot of times in East Front games is the maps are not big enough. Smaller map, you can't really maneuver, you can't really, form any castles, you can't do all that because the map's too small. Heinz Guderian. All right, so here we go. So here's the map. There we go. Oh, I didn't really want that. Close that. What did I do? No, I don't want that. Isn't that the... No. Wrong one. Here we go. So here's how you're starting. You can see it's a big map. Let's see. Leningrad's way up here. Moscow's right there. So it's a big old honking map, and it goes about as far east as you would want to go. Yeah, it's got resources that'll pop up in 1942, so all the way to Kazan. So huge map. So this gives you a chance. if you want to play this out. So it does play different because it doesn't have hexes. Surrounding a unit is tricky. Movement's a little, it takes some getting used to. Front lines, like you have to really be careful, because if you have a unit here, and let's see these two guys, if your unit's here and you have enough points, you can just go right between them if there's no third unit there. So forming a coherent, solid front line's not easy in this game. So there are different kinds of challenges. Let's see. Is this? Oh, we've got all these guys down here. But it doesn't, it doesn't show North Africa. Okay. And it ends, out here. So, but it does have Berlin, of course. So you can get to Berlin as the Russians. So there you go. So I have not had a chance to play this because I just got it today, and it took me a couple of hours to get it installed right because I was kind of messing up. But there you go. Just wanted to give you a view of it. If you've never seen it before, in terms of bang for the buck, it's huge. If you can deal with the older graphics and the squares instead of hexes, this game will give you tons of time to play. And, of course, you can modify any scenario or design your own in the editors. And all three of these have editors. So, once again, Matrix is just giving us tons of bang for the buck. And, yes, I own the original game, but I bought this one because it's just a lot easier to install this way. And they're all together. And you don't have to mess with anything. So I would encourage you to check this out. And that will do it for this first relook, I guess we'll call this. So until next time, this is the Wargaming Guys saying thanks for watching, everybody. Take care, and I will see you later.